Hey guys, this is my Fire King deck profile. I put this together right when the structures came out, and I continued to work on it and adapt it as more topping lists have come out. I think this is a super solid pick for this upcoming format. And then post-PHNI Nightmare, this is the best thing you can be playing, or one of the best things you can be playing because the mirror is kind of atrocious. But yeah, I think this deck is super solid and really fun to play, and I would definitely encourage you to pick it up. Maybe not with the exact build that I'm playing, but definitely something similar. So let's get into the list. So we play Pre-PHNI, best starter. This is the whole deck because you summon this off of Witch, and you can summon this for free from hand if a fire is popped. This card is just really good. There's not a ton to say about it because obviously this is the whole deck. But Ponyx searches combo if you don't have Sanctuary, or it searches Skyburn if you do have Sanctuary or Island. So it's just generally a really good card. 3 Arvada. This is the best. This is the best normal. Sorry, this is really the only normal in this deck other than Ponyx. But normaling Arvada with any fire in hand immediately negates any hand trap besides Imperm, and it just generally the fact that it stops everything is great, but it also pops your own fire monsters to trigger them in grave, or to trigger stuff like Grunix in hand or grave and stuff like that. So it just being able to negate things and also help you combo is nuts. 1 Barong. This lets you search follow-up, or it lets you search for it specifically searches Kieran when you don't draw Kieran, or search Kieran and you need a way to follow up on your next turn. The Barong is mandatory. It also doesn't trigger off of battle, which is awful. It has to be destroyed by card effect, so that it looks like it's an old card, which is very unfortunate. But yeah, Barong is really strong. 2 Grunix. The OCG lists of Fire King post-PHNI Nightmare only play 1 usually. You have to play 2 right now to play around weird stuff like Crow and shufflers. And it just generally this is a lot of why the deck is playable. It's because you can Grunix pop things to extend, or to just combo in general. You're pretty much always searching this off of Island because you can go pop something, grab it off Island, and then trigger it immediately. So yeah, I mean Grunix is really strong. 3 Kieran. This is the best Fire King that you can't normal summon. It's basically it is a hand trap because it's during the main phase, not your main phase. But you pop your own cards to summon this, and then if it's popped, it reborns a Fire King from graveyard, non-targeting, and then non-targeting pops the card on the field. So it's super versatile, and it also just is a very big body. It's an 8. It's 2400. If you pop Grunix, that's with Grunix. Grunix goes up to 39, which is nuts. So it helps you ITK. This card is just really good, and it stuff like this makes me want to play Circle on this, but I'm not playing Circle right now. But the argument to play Circle is definitely there with cards like that. For other cards that help the engine, we got 3 Fenrir and then a Rise Heart. Fenrir search Rise Heart, have a fire in hand to pop with Island, or pop with Arvada, or pop with Kieran, or just all of those things is so valuable. And the fact that Fenrir puts the body on board to either link with, or to beat over stuff, beat over SP, stuff like that is just super relevant. I'm kind of amazed that this card's still at 3, but just being able to Fenrir, grab a fire, combo, insulate yourself with from Nib and Droll if you have Arvada on the field with Fenrir. If you establish Arvada Fenrir, that's insane. There's not a lot that can be done against that. So yeah, I think being able to charge a fire and a deck that revolves around that is just so strong. So why would you not play Fenrir? For the Sinful Spoils engine, 2 Witch, free 1, and please ignore this, and 1 original Sinful Spoil Snake Eye. I just don't own the 3rd Wanted. I super should. I will. But right now I don't have a super consistent way to get it because I don't live in an area that's super card prevalent. So yeah, I will pick it up. But the wanted cards are definitely like the best way to play this deck, and will continue to be through like the course of its evolution. Like regardless of what happens to the Phantom Nightmare support, the wanted cards will be super strong. Yeah, I mean they draw a card, they summon Ponix from deck. You know, it's just insane. So for the Fire King engine, or the Fire King spells, we play 3 Sanctuary, 2 Island, and a Skyburn. The Sanctuary activates the island from deck, protects the island, and is a quick effect Xyz on your opponent's turn. Island is like the best Fire King card before like the new support. You know, like this pops a card in hand, searches a Fire King, sets up your combo, sets up Garunix, adds Ponix, adds everything. And then Skyburn is I don't want to say Icarus attack because that's not the card that it's most like. It's more like I couldn't really tell you what it's more like. But you target fight your Fire Kings and you target cards your opponent controls, pop all of them, and then obviously you'll trigger your Fire Kings afterwards. So Skyburn is insane. For consistency, we play 3 Prosperity. One of the guys who talked YCS Bologna was talking about how this card messes up the synergy of the deck because you can't activate the wanted card draw under it, which is frustrating. But until Phantom Nightmare comes out, we have like Bonfire and the new Snake Eye guy. You need consistency because a lot of the issue with this deck is that you draw hands that require more than 1 card to combo. It's just not the only 1 card combos in this deck are like ways to Ponix. And even that, like if you get interrupted, you're so cooked. So you need to play something that boosts consistency. You need to play something that lets you draw cards, add cards to hand that you want. Not just like something like Upstart, not just like the draw off of one, and you need to be able to search a specific card and add it to your hand. The only actual complaint I have with Prosperity is that it plays neutral really hard. And there's not a lot of ways around that because you don't really want to be like if you activate Prosperity and you grab like Fenrir and they drill you, you're like in a terrible spot. If you activate Prosperity and you've normal Arvada and you have Fire in hand, you're really fine. But that turns off your Fenrir, and then all of a sudden, like there are some issues with this card and draw. So for hand traps, 3 Ash because it's a fire and because it's Ash. Why would you not play it? 3 Nib because it's a blowout, and then 3 Imperm because it's the strongest hand trap you can play on the first or second. It's just, I mean, you could play Valor, but I just don't feel like if you could play Valor because you can pop it with Island, but I feel like if you're popping a not Ash or a fire monster with Island, you're in a terrible spot already. So just use the Valor as you normally would. Don't pop it. So yeah, I think this is all really solid lineup. 40 card main. For the extra, we play Super Poly on the sides. We have Garura and Mud Dragon. I don't play the other 2 fusions, the Draco Quest or the Guilty Gearfried. Not because they're necessarily bad, but Infernoble's kind of gone into the format, so like Guilty Gearfried's a lot worse. And then the board that like Draco that you make with Draco Quest that like Rescue Ace can end on, or like I'm sure like the Centurion deck can do something similar. I'm not totally sure, but yeah, these cards are a lot like better and don't eat up as much any extra deck slots as those ones do. So for Xyz, we have Typhon and the new Garunix. You don't need to play Zeus. Zeus is actually quite bad in this because if you Zeus your own board and you like pop Island, you just lose. It sends to grave, it doesn't pop. So like you want to be playing this and this and nothing else for Xyz, in my opinion. Typhon is just Typhon. This card is so nuts. Like normal Ponix effect overlay for Typhon is a play that you can like legally do, and it feels just like Flu in that sense. Tiny Bird, Xyz. So these are the Xyz and the fusions. For the links, we have 1 Elmirage because it's a fire and it can link off Ponix, so there's some synergy there. And then Anima and Link Rebo. This is for like weird corner cases, and also like if you don't want to waste like one of these 2 and you just want the Ponix off the board, this is fine. And then also like you can take stuff, which is obviously really strong if they don't play around it. And Link Karibo is the main one you link off Ponix with. It's just very like good in the sense that like this plus Salamangreat, Sunlight Wolf makes Heat Soul, draws a card, adds back here, and all that stuff. So Link 2s, we have IP, SP. If you make IP, usually it's like in 4 summons, so you're probably fine from like Nib and stuff because you end on like IP plus either a Fire in hand and Kieran plus like Fenrir, or like IP a Fire, Kieran in hand, Grunix and Grave, stuff like that. So this is usually fine. Ending on this is a lot more like sus, but you can still do it, and there's definitely like a lot of hands that do it. But usually whenever like you make your Fire King board, this is the least impactful thing you've ended on. Like what the opponent is really worried about is like the Arvada or the Fenrir or the Grunix and Grave or just anything like that, or your Quick Xyz. So we play Charmers, we play Dark and Hida. Hida, obviously. Dark is more just like for taking like Tears stuff, for taking like Unchained stuff. You can take a lot of like really cool stuff with this, and it lets you ladder into like Selene Access Code, which is also really cool. Or it lets you make SP with a link. So, and then we play Sunlight Wolf to add back Kieran because and it's a Cyburst, so you can make Heat Soul, which is here. Every line that you make Heat Soul in, though, loses to like every hand trap under the sun. So there is a big argument to not play this card or not make this card because you lose to like if you've been trolled, you can't make it. If you've been nibbed, if you get nibbed, you're screwed. So yeah, I mean, just don't. And if you use Prosperity, you can't draw with this. So there's a lot of issues with the Heat Soul. But this extra deck is really loose. So like I am playing it. I like it. It's one of my like personal favorite cards. So it's in here. And then Selene Access Code to kill Reborn Witch. And then Access Code is just Access Code. Not a lot to say there. But yeah, it's the extra. For the side, we play 3 Droll for like Vanadium. Yeah, I mean Vanadium. There's other decks that you're afraid of too. This was also for Noble before like the list, but the side hasn't super been updated. But I mean Droll just should be in there somewhere. It's for the mirror too. Like and the mirror is going to be popular. This deck is going to be popular. People are going to play Fire King. To prep for the new format because it's a good pick for this format. It is like a really strong deck. So this should be somewhere in your side, in my opinion. 3 Crow, again, mirror, or just generically strong against like tier and stuff, Unchained and stuff. Bystials are like good, but the issue is that like the Bystials don't do enough in the mirror, and there's like other weird decks that they just do not affect. Like if you would much rather, in my opinion, this format see Crow and be able to resolve it properly, like banishing like a Fountain target from like Runic Fountain, or banishing like Kieran or something like that, Runic's out of Grave, than like Bystialing a tier name. Like it's the same basic thing. So Crowing an Unchained Spell Trap, Crowing the Rescue Ace targets for Turbulence. Those kinds of things that like the Bystials do not do. 2 Storm and a Duster. I play this on like almost everything in the side. It just, it's good against like a lot of things. It's weirdly not as good against Lab as you would think, but like it's good against like Flu, which isn't really real right now, but even so, it's good against Rescue Ace. It's good against kind of the mirror. Not really the mirror, but like popping their island is good if they don't have Sanctuary up, but those are Sanctuary protected, so I guess not the mirror. I don't know why I said that. 3 Super Poly. Super Poly blows out like everything right now, including the mirror and including Vanadium and including Tier and everything that like Unchained. Like a lot of the boards that people are making right now either lose Super Poly or like will lose Super Poly based on like the attributes you can make in your extra deck, because like suddenly like you can make a dark with like Ponix, and suddenly you can make like a fire with like 2 monsters. Oh, not you have a fire, but like suddenly you can make other attributes with monsters because you have such a varied extra deck attribute pool. So that's really cool. And then the last card is 3 Skill Drain. Not super exciting, but it's Skill Drain. You can pop it with your own Kieran, and it cooks like a lot of the decks that are good right now. It cooks anything that isn't exactly like Lab and us. So being able to like, add it with your own Kieran is cool. And then so it's basically just like a one-turn lockdown. So yeah, that is the list. Please let me know if you liked it. Please comment, subscribe if you're interested in the content that I'm making. I'm sorry I haven't been putting out a lot of stuff recently. I'm going to try to put out more soon. So thank you for watching.